welcome to another episode of my podcast. Merry Christmas, compliments of the season. I hope you're all enjoying your holidays, and I'm so happy to be here. This is December 25th, and this is like the last episode of the year, and I have been podcasting consistently since October, so this has been such a great experience for me. So, in this episode, I decided to just talk about how this podcasting is helping me as a product manager, the skills that I am developing, the skills I'm improving, and just to like showcase why I decided to pick this as a medium. Now, when I was doing my research on how to be a product manager, I realized that majority of the roles require that you should have some form of experience building a product. And I didn't have that. What I have is industry experience. I've been in the banking space for over 8 years. So I needed to showcase the skills that I felt were transferable and also improve certain skills that I felt were important as a product manager. So one of the researches I did led me to Diego Grandos. He has a lot of resources for how to be a product manager. And in one of them, he said you don't necessarily have to build a product or have that experience they're talking about. There are other ways to showcase that you love products or that you have the skills to be a product manager. And one of it was to do a side project. That side project could be a newsletter, could be a blog, could be a YouTube channel, just something that showcases you implementing what it takes to be a product manager in that project. So when I was doing, I was like, okay, out of all this that he listed, which one do I resonate with more? And when that period, for some reason, I was just interested in podcasts. I had a lot that I was subscribed to, product management, different aspects of it. So I was kind of intrigued. I was like, this is actually a very good medium that I felt wasn't really explored like that because people were not really into podcasts. They were into certain podcasts, but not all variants. So I was like, okay, let's play around this. So I decided to create this podcast, and treat it like a product. So this was why I chose that. So the skills that I felt that are transferred from my previous work. Number one was developing communication and storytelling skills. Now, I've mentioned time without number that communication is very key to a product manager, but storytelling is also key because you need to be able to articulate that your product vision. You need to be able to sell that. And I felt that this was where I was lacking. I was good at communicating, but to be able to storytell, to be able to really drive it down was something I needed to work on. So this podcast provides a platform for me to be able to do that. Second skill is enhancing my personal brand and professional growth. Now, prior to this journey, I wasn't a social media person. Like I only posted on occasions and I just followed people and all that. But I didn't see the importance of building a personal brand and the importance of building a digital footprint. And this just showcases my skill in addition to my resume. It helps me put out an image out there that people can see. Oh, she's running a podcast. Oh, she can tell a story well. Oh, she's doing the editing. Everything seems fine. Oh, the content she's putting out is good. All this just helps add to my resume. As in, you don't even need to talk to me. If you just go to my page, you see everything there. So that was one thing I really loved about the podcasting that helped me. Another one is contributing to the product management community. Even though I'm just like a minute part of that, I feel that as I'm sharing my story, sharing my experiences, sharing my knowledge, sharing all that, I'm helping to educate people and help to grow and develop the product management community. Another one was content strategy and creativity. Now, when I started this podcast, when I was doing my research, the recording and the editing is legit like 10% of the work. The other percent is the content strategy, the promoting, the marketing. That is where the work is. And it's crazy because someone like me that wasn't a social media person, I was like, okay, this is gonna be harder than it looks because I was batch recording my episode. So in like a week, I could have recorded everything I needed to talk about. But to craft content around each topic was where the work was. And I felt that I have actually improved in that regard because I have been consistently posting for 90 days, and this is the last episode of the year. And it just shows that it wasn't an easy feat, but I took it head on. Another skill or what I'm learning is feedback handling. Now, as a product manager, you all know how important feedback is. And I also was open to feedback on the podcast. I always asked for it. I had a feedback form. I had all that so that people could just share their experiences, share what they wanted me to improve on, and all that. And the ability to be able to be open to feedback and collect positive and constructive feedback helps me and is actually very crucial in product management roles. Another skill is entrepreneurial mindset. Now, as holding a product, or sorry, as managing a product, it shows that I'm an entrepreneur. And it just showcases that, okay, this podcast is a product to me, and I needed to think about how to grow it, how to develop strategies for its success. So, this also helped me with this entrepreneurial mindset. Marketing and promotion, like I said before, this was it wasn't easy for me. Even though I actually have experience marketing, I actually have a course certificate from Treford in product marketing. I had to learn how to do it on a consistent, as in on a daily, on a weekly basis, and this actually helped me be more in tune to it because normally when you do a course, you just like read and pass. But to be able to practically use what you've been learned to drive something like a product, your personal product, was on a different level. So being a product manager, marketing and promotion is also key. So this is also helping me learn that. And finally, analytics and metrics. Now, podcast platforms always provide analytics. So with this, I'm gaining experience on how to interpret the metrics and how to understand my listeners' behavior, and also using the data to improve my content creation. So when I first started, I always checked my impressions counts. Okay, which ones are people liking? Which posts are people liking? Which format did I use there that resonate better with them? And I use that to improve the rest. And this just shows that no matter how small the project is, if you develop that mindset that, okay, I'm using this to improve my skills, you will be able to succeed with it. And with that, I come to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you see how this podcast is helping. I hope it motivates you to start your own side project if you haven't already started. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope this episode helps you makes you want to start a side project. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for always been engaging this past 3 months. I always want to hear your feedback, so you could send a a voice message on Spotify. You could fill the feedback form on my website or just comment on the social media platforms. Once again, Merry Christmas, compliments of the season, and have a beautiful new year.